So, has the price of Bitcoin bottomed out after falling around this 33,000 range and also closing the daily candle above this 14.59 Fibonacci level? Because on my yesterday's video, I made it very clear. If the price of Bitcoin wants to show any sort of impulsive movement, then the price has to close the daily above this 14.59 Fibonacci level that was lying around 35,500 range. And now, since the price is hovering around this 36,500 range, is this a sign that we could be seeing some sort of a relief rally at least towards this next Fibonacci line here to the upside, right, which is the 23.61, and that is lying around 41,000 range. And why it is not going to be that easy for Bitcoin to see this reversal again around this 40 to 41,000 range, let me show you here. So if you simply look at this Williams alligator indicator, what can we see? As I have already mentioned plenty of time, whenever you see this blue line appearing at the top, green line appearing at the bottom, that usually indicates the trend here is weakening. And unless we are not going to see a crossover happening here in this manner, where the green line is appearing at the top and blue line appearing at the bottom, until then the trend of Bitcoin might still be weakening. Because in a downtrend, you can see the blue line will always appear at the top, green line always at the bottom. But in an uptrend, the blue line is going to be at the bottom and the green line at the top. But in our case, since this is clearly a sign of weakness, since the blue line is at the top, green line is at the bottom from Williams alligator indicator, now any sort of a relief rally here, just like this one here, right? So if we do see any sort of a reversal, you can see around this 38,000, the Williams alligator indicator is going to act as a resistance. So that is the reason right now, if the price of Bitcoin wants to see any sort of a reversal or any sort of a proper relief rally, then the 38,000 resistance must be broken and also the 40 to 41,000 resistance line. Because if we do that, then I strongly believe that we could be slowly seeing this crossover happening here in price action of Bitcoin. Otherwise, this Williams alligator indicator is again going to act as a resistance and we could be seeing another pullback here in this manner. Because you can see this similar structure has unfolded again and again. When the price of Bitcoin has tried to break out of this Williams alligator indicator, it acted as a resistance and then we saw some bigger price retracement. So this is not what we want to see happening. So that's why if the price of Bitcoin does manage to show an actual movement, then the 38,000 resistance must be broken, because this is the lower line area of this Williams alligator indicator and also the 40 to 41,000 range. So that's why for us the price must show this movement at least above this 38,000 range for now to show any sort of impulsive movement again towards this 40 to 41,000 range. And also not just only because of the Williams alligator indicator. Now let's have a look at this price action using this CPR indicator, which is a leading indicator. So according to the CPR lines, which is the pivotal points, you can see the price of Bitcoin has already left the support from this monthly S1 line, and this here is the monthly S2 line that is lying around 30,000 range. But now if the price of Bitcoin wants to show any sort of impulsive movement, then this same line around this 38,000 must be flipped into support, right? If it's going to happen, then there is also a probability that we could be seeing a bounce here again towards this 40 to 41,000 price range. But if we do get another rejection again after reaching around this 38,000, then you can see the lower price target around 30,000 is still open for Bitcoin. So that is the reason, even if we are going to see some sort of a relief rally, we still have to be careful, because the price here is still in a downtrend where we have created lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern. And also according to this Williams alligator indicator, you can see this is still a bearish crossover, blue line appearing at the top, green line appearing at the bottom. And also with the help of CPR line, if you look at this price movement, this is descending CPR line, because in an uptrend like this, you will see the CPR line will always create higher highs CPR line, right? You can see, and it acts as a support. But in a downtrend, the CPR line acts as a resistance, you can see. And also whenever new trend starts, the CPR line will also create higher high CPR or ascending CPR. But in our case right now, if you look at this carefully, is actually creating this descending CPR, which is also showing a sign of weakness, because this usually happens when the trend is in a downtrend. So that is also a reason, even if we are going to see some sort of a relief rally, we want the price of Bitcoin to break out of this important line of resistance to invalidate this bearish scenario. Otherwise, this is just going to be more of a temporary relief rally before price again starts breaking here to the downside. And not just only with this one example, but let me also add this Y-curves scenario, which I also talked on my yesterday's video, because right now we are looking at this whole scenario in this way. Because if you look at the price structure of Bitcoin, after this accumulation phase we had this markup phase, after markup phase we form this distribution phase, and after distribution there is a markdown phase, and the trend or the cycle is going to end after we form a accumulation phase, and we don't know where this accumulation phase is going to be. So that is the reason right now, unless the price is not finding a proper support around a certain price level, right, we still have to be careful, because this relief rally might fake us and again show another movement here in this manner before consolidating around this range, forming an actual accumulation phase before starting this new markup area, just like here from past Bitcoin price action. So that is the reason, guys, even if we are going to see any sort of a relief rally here in price action, it could just be a fake out before we see another movement here to the downward direction. And why I'm actually saying you this, so now let me add this one scenario that we have also talked on my yesterday's video, because we know right now the price of Bitcoin is showing this exact movement which has played out here in past Bitcoin price action that led to a bigger pullback. What I mean by that, with each and every failed attempt to break out of this previous high structure, the price of Bitcoin has always showed a bigger pullback. Impulsive movement, corrective movement. When the price failed to find support at this parallel trend line, we had this pullback, and this pullback, you can see, was lower than the previous low. Another similar scenario unfolded here. I mean, a relief rally. This relief rally was not able to break the previous resistance line, got rejected, and also a bigger pullback, just like here from past Bitcoin price action. Similar scenario unfolded here. Relief rally could not break the previous temporary resistance line, and again another bigger pullback. You can see, right, this exact scenario is unfolding again and again. So now if this is also going to be a relief rally and it's going to fail to break out of this previous high or the previous temporary resistance line that is around 40 to 41,000 range, right, this could be a movement in this way, right, flash another similar relief rally type of scenario where the price gets gravitated towards the downside and not an actual breakout. For an actual breakout, we want this trend to break out of this 40 to 41,000 range and flip it into support, because if we do that, then there is a very, very high probability of price getting gravitated again towards this 50,000 range. So let's see how the price of Bitcoin is going to react. So these are some of the interesting scenarios I thought sharing with you into this video. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.